Hey, my name's Kevin. I hope you're getting in the Halloween spirit here. Today's lesson, we're going to check out the Addams Family Theme song, Chord Melody version. So, Chord Melody is pretty cool, where we incorporate chords and melody together into one to kind of play the vocal through the uke, which is going to be pretty cool. So, we're going to do this in standard tuning, and for those of you who play the baritone, you can skip to this spot right here, and I've got a baritone version of this tutorial for you as well. So, without further ado, get yourself tuned up, and let's play the Addams Family Theme song together. Hey, before we get started, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and click that alert bell so you know when the next video is coming your way. If you're interested in more learning resources, head over to allforuke.com, where we have a full searchable library of songs, song sheets, practice tracks, worksheets, and more. All for you, allforuke.com. All right, so there's 3 chords that we need to learn for this tune. The first chord that you need is a C major chord. It sounds like this. We play that with our ring finger on the A string of the 3rd fret. The second chord that we need is a D minor chord. So the D minor chord, play with our middle finger here on the G string 2nd fret, C string of the 2nd fret, and then our index finger goes on the 1st fret on the E string. So again, that sounds like this. And then a final chord that we're going to use is G7. So G7 sounds like this. And we play that with our middle finger, C string of the 2nd fret, 1st fret on the E string, and then our ring finger on the A string of the 2nd fret as well. I like to tilt my hand a little bit towards the headstock for that G7 chord. So we have C, D minor, and G7. So those are the only 3 chords we need for the standard tuning version. Now let's take a look at this first section. All right, so we're going to break this into 4 parts. The first line of the song when the vocal starts is, "They're creepy and they're kooky." So let me play that melody for you, and then I'm going to show you how to do it. So it starts like this. All right, so let's break that down piece by piece. So with chord melody here, basically what we're trying to do is we're going to attach the melody to every syllable of the vocal line. So the first note that we play here is on the E string of the 3rd fret, and that's just going to be a single pluck. Now I'll also mention as I'm going here, when I'm plucking the strings, typically what I'm doing is I'm just using my thumb to pluck down on the string. And I also like to kind of have my hand underneath the base of the uke here so that I can kind of support my hand as I'm doing this. Now, when I'm doing my strums, I'm also just kind of using this thumb drag across all 4 strings. So if you want to use your index finger, that's okay too, but I feel like with chord melody, a lot of times it's easier just to use your thumb. So our first note here, again, is 3rd fret of the E string, so that's for the word there. And then we have a chord. So we take our index finger and we move it down to the 3rd fret of the A string, and we do a full strum here. And then we move our pinky finger out to the 7th fret of the A string, and that's the 2nd syllable of creepy. So we have, then we move back to the 3rd fret of the A string. So we basically just pull our pinky off and we have our index finger in place already on that A string. Then we move our index finger back to where it was on the E string of 3rd fret. And that's another one for there. Now we move to our next chord, which is D minor. So we're going to take our chord over here to that D minor chord, and we're just going to strum the bottom, or the top 3 strings rather. So I go down with a downstroke here across the G, C, and E strings. And then I finish off the line here by extending my pinky out to the 5th fret of the A string. And that is for the last word, kooky. So this is koo-key. It's kind of fun. So let's go through that just nice and slow. I'm going to play that for you really slow. So here we go. They're creepy and they're kooky. All right. So that's the first part here. Let's move on to the second line of the song, which is mysterious and spooky. So for mysterious and spooky, I'm going to get my hand in position here with my G7 chord. So I place that down, but I'm only going to pluck the A string with my thumb here, and I'm going to pluck this note that's on the second fret, which is a B note. So to start mysterious, I start with just one single pluck. And then I strum the full G7 chord. From there, I extend my pinky out to the 5th fret again for just the letter I, which is part of the syllable for mysterious. And then I take the pinky off for the OUS part of mysterious. So let me just play the word mysterious for you here. So it's mysterious. That all happens on a G7 with an extension there. And then we keep this G7 in place, play the E string on the 1st fret, and then we play open G, C, and E strings as we go down to a C chord. So it's the full C chord, however, you're kind of breaking it into 2 components there so that you get the 2 syllables for spooky, because we have spoo-key. So let's go through that whole part one more time. So we're on the G7 chord, starting here on the 2nd fret. So we have mysterious and spooky. All right, so that's part 2. The 3rd line is just like the 1st line, but we'll go through that one more time. So they're all together ooky. We move back with our index finger here to the E string 3rd fret, followed by the C chord. Extend the pinky out to the 7th fret again, back to the 3rd fret of the A string. Then we're back to 3rd fret here on the E string. They're all together. And then we finish off the line with moving to the D minor chord, playing just the top 3 strings, ooh, and then we extend our pinky out again to the 5th fret for the last syllable of ooky. So they're all together ooky goes like this. They're all together ooky. And then we're on the final line here, the Addams Family. I move down to my G7 chord again. I play the 2nd fret of the A string, single note, followed by full strum of the G7 chord. Then we move our pinky to the 3rd fret of the E string. From there we move to an open A string for the first syllable of family. So for family, I just went open A string, 2nd fret A string, followed by a full strum of the C chord. So let's just do that last line there. So we are on the G7 chord, plucking the 2nd fret of the A string. So we go, the Addams Family. All right, so now I'm just going to go through it without the vocal so you can hear all of the notes and the chords played together. I'm going to do this really, really slow so that everything rings out nice and clear for you here. So starting on the E string, 3rd fret. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. All right, now we're gonna do it with the lyrics. I'm gonna do my best here, trying to do a little singing and playing. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky. They're all together If you're digging the sound of my uke, head over to allforuke.com/shop. You can have a Kala ukulele for yourself. When you buy your Kala ukulele through All for Uke, you're supporting us, and we really appreciate it. Make sure you check it out. Concerts, sopranos, tenors, baritones, a wide selection of accessories, capos, and more. All for you, allforuke.com/shop. All right, now let's see how this sounds on the baritone. All right, so again, for the baritone version, we need to learn 3 chords, and the 3 chords are G, which is played with our ring finger here on the E string of the 3rd fret. We have an A minor chord, which we use this shape here. Middle finger on the D string, ring finger on the G string, index finger on the B string, and that index finger is on the 1st fret, the middle and ring are on the 2nd fret. And then we switch down here to a D7 chord, which sounds like this, and we play that with our middle finger on the G string 2nd fret, index on the B string of the 1st fret, and ring on the E string of the 2nd fret. Sounds like this. All right, so now I'm going to demonstrate this first line here of the song, and it's "they're creepy and they're kooky." So here is how that sounds. We have... All right, so how do we play that? We're going to start with our index finger, B string of the 3rd fret with a single pluck with our thumb. Now I'm going to mention here, we use our thumb for all of the plucking, and I'm just doing downstrokes with that. I'm supporting my hand on the bass here of the bottom of the baritone as well, and then when I strum, I'm actually going through just by dragging my thumb through on the strings for all of the chords. So again, our first note here is 3rd fret of the B string. And then we move down here and we're going to play a full G chord by just a full down strum through. We extend our pinky out to the 7th fret of the E string. And then we go back to the 3rd fret of the E string. So we start off with 3rd fret, B string, and then a strum, 7th fret, 3rd fret. Now we move back to the 3rd fret of the B string, and we move over here to our A minor chord, and we're going to do a full down strum on that. Actually, when we do that down strum on the A minor, make sure you only do the top 3 strings, and then extend your pinky out to the 5th fret of the E string for the final note for the last syllable of kooky. So that whole thing all together, nice and slow. They're creepy and they're kooky. All right, let's take a look at the second line here for mysterious and kooky. So we're going to move to a D7 chord here, and let me demonstrate this for you before we take a look. So we have cue the crow in the background. So how do we do that? We're going to take our D7 shape here. The crow threw me off a little bit. We're going to go into our D7 shape here, and we're just going to do a single pluck here on the E string to start that line. So mysterious, 4 syllables, will have 4 moves. So we have single note there on the E string, followed by a full strum of the D7 chord. Extend the pinky out to the 5th fret of the E string, and then release that, and you're going to play the 2nd fret of the E string again. So we have mysterious chord. And while still holding this D7 chord here, we play the B string with a single note again on the 1st fret. And then to end the line, we just shift our hand over here to our G chord. We start by playing the top 3 strings, and then followed by a single note here So that's for the word spooky. So spooky. So just through that line nice and slow now. Mysterious and spooky. All right, so we have the first two lines of the song now. The third line is just like the first line, but I'll play it for you and take you through it. That one goes like this, and it's for the words, they're all together ooky. I didn't know ooky was a word, but apparently it is a word. So here we go, they're all together ooky. All right, and now I'm going to demonstrate the fourth and final line here of the baritone version, and this is for the lyric, the Addams Family. So we start off here with our D7 chord. So while holding the D7 chord, we're going to pluck the E string 2nd fret with our thumb, just a single note, followed by a full strum. And that's for the A. The 2nd syllable of Addams we play with the 3rd fret on the B string, and then open E string on the bottom, 2nd fret on the bottom, and end it with the G chord all the way through. So nice and slow. The Addams Family. All right, so now I'm gonna play this nice and slow without the vocal, just so you can hear all 4 sections played together. So here we go. 2, 3, 4. Sounds so good on the baritone. All right, now I'm going to follow the melody with the lyrics. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky. They're all together ooky, the Addams Family. Well, that was an ooky interpretation of the Addams Family theme. We did it on the standard, we did it on the baritone. First time ever, pretty cool. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I'm putting a tab together at allforuke.com, which will have all of the fingerings for this as well, and any other little tips and tricks that I can share with you guys for this. Please leave your comments below. I love hearing from you guys. Let me know, what are your favorite Halloween songs? What are some other tunes that you would like to hear us do on Chord Melody? I really like doing these Chord Melody videos, and I think we're going to do quite a few more of them, so look out for those coming soon. My name's Kevin. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you next time.
Let's get